Well, hey everybody, Rob Satcham from Feedback Wrench. We help small businesses go from good to great, and today I wanted to share with you the 8 things that we think small businesses should not do. You know, there's a lot of great advice out there about business, small business, entrepreneurship, and for those of you that are in the grind right now, in the hustle, trying to go from maybe year 1 to year 5, or trying to get to that point where you're starting to have net profits north of, $40,000, $50,000, or if you're just trying to get the ball rolling, I wanted to share with you from firsthand 8 things that you need to not do in order to have a successful small business or to grow your small business. Stick around to the end because some of the last ones are going to be very helpful. Again, Rob Satcham here from Feedback Wrench. Here are the 8 things not to do when you're a small business owner. Check them out. All right, so what's the first thing that you should not do when you're starting a business? Get stuck waiting. Don't get stuck waiting. Go execute, make some sales. Just go do what it is that you think you want to do. I meet too many business owners or idea people that want to know what business entity they should be. They think they need to talk to an attorney to cover their bases for this and that. Maybe they need a patent. They think that they need investment. They need a business plan first. No. The first thing you need to do is go and execute. Go do what it is you're going to do. And at its core, entrepreneurship is about, I have an idea to go add value. If you think you can go add value in exchange for some profit, go do it. Go find somebody. If you're not sure on how to price it, go get some perspective from a wise person. Go ask an entrepreneur, hey, here's what I think I'm going to do. What do you think I should charge? Or do some research, just some quick, dirty research, fast, easy. Go find out what the industry charges. Now, you need to probably be upfront about your first couple sales. I highly recommend that when you first get started, maybe you need to give it away for cheap, if not free, the first couple of times you're going to add value so that you can get some reps under your belt. So the first thing you don't want to do is get stuck in the planning phase. You don't want to be waiting for the perfect this and that. Don't think you need to go, talk to an attorney to get an official LLC. You don't need to open any business account or an LLC or launch some corporation until you have profits. Now, I'm just talking to the vast majority of entrepreneurs that I meet. Most people just need to go execute. They just need to go do what it is they think they're going to do. Don't sit and wait. Go add value. If you're not sure what it should be priced at, start low and grow into it. Now, I know there's a risk there, and later on I'll talk about getting stuck in the weeds of not charging enough for your work or getting stuck in the weeds in low return, high energy work. But the first thing you can't do is you can't stand still. Go get reps, go make sales, go do it, go execute, get some reps under your belt. Don't be stuck. That's the number one thing. There's a huge difference between idea people in entrepreneurship and execution. If you can go execute, even poorly, you're going to learn from that. You're going to be equipped. In fact, the best tuition you can do is by trying and failing. If you try and fail, that's going to be 1,000 times better than your plan that you're going to write on the forefront. Now, again, you got to work on your business. You need to be strategic and intentional about things, but don't get stuck, guys. Go execute. Do what it is you say you want to do. Go get some reps under your belt. Don't sit still. Don't wait. Go get in front of a prospect. Try and make a sale. Understand what's valuable to them and see if you can connect to that. So that's my first tip. Don't stand still. Go get some reps under your belt. Don't overplan. Go and execute. Number 2, don't get stuck in the weeds doing low margin, high energy work. So the second thing, don't get stuck in the weeds doing low margin, high energy work. Low margin, high energy work can kill a new business. Look, for each product or service that you sell, you need to figure out if it's actually worth it in the end. What does it look like if you have success in this and you get a whole bunch of sales on this product or service? You need to know that. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't work hard here, but I am saying that you need to find out what will drive your economic engine. What will drive your economic engine? Then stay away from strategies, products, and services that are high energy, low reward. The idea here is that you don't want to be in a race to the bottom by focusing on price or getting into this complex work that is really commoditized so that it's hard to make it about anything except price. You don't want to build a business based on discounting and on price. Trust me. In fact, absent a value interpreter, all negotiations deteriorate to price. You don't want to build a business based on discounting. Discounting is one of the ways that you get stuck in the weeds. You don't want to find yourself trying to save people money all the time. You don't want to be in that business. It's much better to solve problems and provide value in exchange for a little bit more profit. It would be good to do a full in-depth analysis of the total costs of time, money, resources that every service or product that you're thinking of providing would entail. But if you're just getting started, you can start by doing some rough and dirty math around this. I mean, it's not really hard. One example that I love to talk about here is tax professionals and CPAs that are focused on doing tax returns rather than serving as an outsourced accountant doing proactive tax planning, doing their bookkeeping for them. If you just do tax returns, you're in a losing game. Doing tax returns is a race to the bottom because they're competing with software. Literally, their competitors have IBM's supercomputer named Watson working on the side of H&R Block software. It was in the Super Bowl commercial. And Jackson Hewitt is in every Walmart from sea to shining sea. That means that tax returns are getting commoditized, and it's really hard to add a unique value so that you can avoid the discounting game. Now, there's niches of people that don't want the cheapest tax return, but doing tax returns is a low margin, higher risk, higher energy activity, especially when you do the math. So think of this math. Think of it. Most small CPA shops and tax firms might charge like $300 per tax return. That's like, great. I don't even have a product there. That's just a service. $300. That's great profit. Maybe an S Corp tax return's $1,000. Boy, that can sound attractive, particularly if you're comparing it to like a restaurant where it seems like you're selling $15 meals and making $1 or $2. But this means that if a CPA were to have like 50 businesses and 100 individuals, they'd bring in about $80,000 in revenue. But when you start to realize that you'll have to run about 150 meetings with people, battle out their financial statements, nag them all to get their paperwork into you during a compressed season, then you realize that you paid $6,000 a year for your software, $500 a month, and another $6,000 for your office. You know, your office is probably $500 a month. You probably have $4,000 in messing around. So you have $16,000 to drive 80 G's. Now, processing 150 tax returns is also brutal, especially by yourself. Most tax firms with that many clients, 150 clients, are going to get an admin to help them. So let's just imagine now you hire an admin for something really low, like $12 an hour. They're probably not going to be great, but now when you figure out self-employment taxes and the 2,080 hours a year, you're going to pay them $27,000. So now that leaves you with net profit of about $30,000. That's not bad, but it's not great. And when you realize that $300 tax return is actually really high in the market, and that businesses, they're not all going to be $1,000, you start to catch my drift that tax returns are an example of this high energy, low reward work. Your industry has a version of this. I'm telling you, there's not an industry that doesn't have a higher energy, low reward piece of work. A lot of the times you'll end up doing it in order to get access to better services or other products, but you need to avoid this. And the way you can do that is by identifying your core focus. You know, Jim Collins talks about identifying your core focus or your hedgehog principle. And the idea is to be more like a hedgehog rather than a fox. A hedgehog does few things, does it really well, and it's in a niche, where a fox does many things but doesn't do it very well. A hedgehog does not have to do very many things well, and it gets worms. It just hunkers down and does what it does, while a fox works far too hard for too little gain. The hedgehog concept says that you should only do work or products or services that satisfies 3 criteria. Now, the first one, you got to ask, what will drive your economic engine? And this is about margin. Number 2, what can you be passionate about? Number 3, what can you be best at as a company or an organization? This should leave you to uncover the strategies worth pursuing in the long haul. Remember, I'm saying that your initial efforts always need to be about adding value, getting some reps under your belt, but you need to be careful that you don't get too busy doing low reward work that you can't take on the good stuff. So the second thing, don't waste your time on high energy, high complexity work. Number 3, don't neglect your sales process. Don't neglect your sales process. Marketing funnels, analysis processes, and logistical processes need to be thought out and mapped out in at least a basic manner. Don't flush good time down the toilet by wasting too much time on planning rather than execution. But then again, you need to work on your business, not just in your business. So I'm saying don't neglect defining your sales process, your marketing funnel, your analysis process, and then execution. There's power when you sit down in front of a prospect and walk them through your process. It doesn't have to be super fancy, but this will communicate that you're a real business that takes this seriously. It also creates a system that someone else could eventually take over in the future. When you work on this, you create a system. Don't create an overly elaborate chart, but map out what your marketing funnel is going to look like, what your sales process is going to look like, and the logistical side of execution. What does that look like? If you neglect your sales process or defining these types of processes, you'll neglect monitoring where people are in your processes. That's huge. Your CRM, your email marketing can help you out to map that as well. So don't neglect defining your processes. Number 4, don't forget to open your Google My Business page and get reviews after you've done that. Don't forget to open your Google My Business page and get reviews after you've executed in the real world. If you're a local business, so this is only for local guys, not all of you are, but if you're local, you need to open a Google My Business page and work to mature it by getting reviews and posting to it and being active on it. The Google My Business page is tied to the Google Maps and the Google Local Snippet, which is the second section after your paid AdWords. This is the primary tool that Google gave to small businesses to market their local business to their local communities. This is a big deal. So here's a tip. Open yours up at google.com/business, and then they're going to send you a postcard with a code on it to validate. As you get some wins under your belt, diligently and winsomely invite your clients to review you on Google reviews. You can give them a call, shoot them a text and say, hey, I'm calling for a selfish reason. My reputation really matters. If things have been good, would you mind giving me a review? And then you can text the link to your Google My Business page to them or send it through an email. So that'll help get reviews, build your reviews up, do only authentic, bona fide reviews. Don't cheat in this. But here's another couple of things. Make sure that your primary category or your product or service that you do is in the name of your business page. I meet too many, Jackson Incorporated. And when they're in the landscaping business, if your business name is Jackson Incorporated, it should be Jackson Incorporated Landscaping and Lawn Service or whatever it is. If you're primarily a divorce attorney, you might put that in your Google My Business page, John Henkins, divorce attorney. That'll help with your search engine optimization big time. And here's another tip. You should only choose 2 categories. You can start loading on tons of categories, but when you go over 2, you start to jeopardize some of the Google synergy. So the Google My Business page, it's free. That's the thing here. It's not a website. You don't have to pour into it. In fact, they have a website builder in this tool now. But it's incredibly useful to drive prospects. It's an SEO powerhouse. It shows that you're worthy of trust. I'm telling you, don't neglect this thing. Go after it and build it out. So the 5th thing, don't neglect integrity. Don't neglect integrity. Focus on relentlessly pursuing the best interests of your clients. Don't lie or spin things. Always tell the truth. Never lie. Don't embellish things. Don't overpromise and underdeliver. Relentlessly pursue the best interests of your clients. That is huge. Always do what's in their best interest. Don't ever sell anything that you don't feel great about. Never sacrifice your values, your mission, or your purpose. And on that note, if you haven't, you need to spend time to develop a mission, purpose, and values. Do that ahead of time. Your mission is what you're setting out to do. That's what you do. Your purpose is why you do it. Your values, that's who you are, who you want your employees to be, how your people are going to interact with clients, characteristics, virtues, and attitudes. Then you have strategies. This is how you do what you do. Now, strategies will change, but you really want to dial in your mission, purpose, and values because those shouldn't change. That should be a huge differentiator for who you are. Put some thought into that. Spend some time working on your business and do this, but don't compromise your character and integrity. And if you create a mission, purpose, and values, you're going to have some help doing that. And then always relentlessly pursue the best interests of your clients. All right, Number 6, don't be selfish. Help other people and other businesses. Don't be selfish and help other people or businesses. You want referrals. You want help. You want a good reputation and good public relations, right? You should probably get involved in doing that for other people. Those who refresh others will themselves be refreshed. We highly recommend that you build business liaisons and work hard to support them. Feature them on your blog. Send referrals their way. Remember them when prospecting. Use their services and tell your friends and neighbors all about them. The bottom line here is that you should work hard to help other people, because when you serve other people, it is powerful and it will work in earning the favor of everybody you meet. So don't be a taker. Always give more than you take and serve other people. Don't be selfish. Number 7, don't neglect your prospecting. Don't neglect your prospecting. You need to make sales calls, set sales meetings, send emails, bring people through your funnel. The top thing a business owner should do is prospect and make sales. If you don't make sales, you will not have anything else to do. It's a great deal like baseball. If you think about it, you miss all the balls you never swing at. You need to get at bat. You need to find people to introduce yourself to and to connect with. If you got to go door to door, if you need to make cold calls, do some networking, ask your clients to introduce you to people, buy lunch for people. Just go to offices where, if it's the real estate agents where you are, do a lunch and learn. Buy them lunch and introduce what it is you do. Go to the Rotary. Join the chamber. Buy people coffee. Hey, can I buy you coffee? I'd just love to hear what you do and teach you what it is that I do. So get around people and ask for meetings. And then last but not least, don't be sloppy in your follow-up email, phone, and execution. Pick up your phone. Pick it up right away and answer it with more care and consideration than like the local McDonald's. You don't need to be overly formal when you pick up the phone, but the way you answer your phone says a lot about you. Same with your phone follow-up, your text follow-up. My dad made me answer the phone with a script when I was like 5 or 6 years old because he was a salesman and he knew how important this was. He'd make you say, "Satrams, this is Rob." And now I always answer the phone. I say, "This is Rob. How can I help you?" How you answer that communicates a great deal to people. You should email people right back. Pick up your phone, call people back. Don't roll your eyes when your clients, particularly after you've already made the sale, don't roll your eyes and hit end on people when they call. Pick it up. Now there's a balance here. You don't want urgent, unimportant activity like emails and kind of needless phone calls to clog up your day. But you also need to be on top of communicating with people. You need to do a good job on this. What I'm saying here is that you should call people proactively. If there's going to be a problem, call them ahead of time. That's professionalism. Return people's calls right away. As soon as you get a moment, actually call them. Respond to texts quickly. But then teach your clients what your off hours are so that they understand the expectation. That's a critical part there. So those are my 8 things that business owners should not do when you're trying to grow. Number 1, just focus on adding value and get some reps under your belt. Don't do anything except that. Number 2, don't get stuck in the weeds doing low margin, high energy work. Number 3, don't neglect your sales process and defining your logistics and your processes. Number 4, don't forget to open your Google My Business page and get reviews after you've executed. Number 5, don't neglect integrity. Focus on relentlessly pursuing the best interests of your clients. Number 6, don't be selfish. Help other people and other businesses. Number 7, don't neglect prospecting. And number 8, don't be sloppy in your follow-up and execution. If you like this video, if you thought it was helpful, if you know somebody else this would be helpful to, share it with them, like it. We'd love it if you'd subscribe. Again, we're Feedback Wrench. We want to help small businesses go from good to great. That's why we exist. And I'm Rob Satram. Thanks.